Hello everyone, this is my first Jin Sakai Vts armor, ghost armor set, and today I would like to share with you some of the adjustment you need to do when this piece of gorgeous come out of the box. So when you come out of the box, you notice this green little straps here are loosely tied. You would want to tie it correctly. The knot would be here for the upper part, and the lower part will be here. Same for the other leg, the lower part here, and the upper part here, and outside area. So it will look nice and fit and clean. The other thing you would want to adjust is the rope. You can see here, there's actually a rope here. So this rope loop is tucked underneath this piece of wrist rope. So when coming with box, it's not this way. You need to flip inside out to create this effect, and you will notice this rope loop here is actually positioned in the left side of the wrist. This rope is for the, I believe is for the hook for Jin Sakai to try the hooks on the cliff. So beware of that. So here you can see a wakizashi and katana. You would want to place in this particularly position manner. So the wakizashi inside and the katana outside. For most of the people that I see in the community, they would love to point the sword in upward here. However, this is not the way a real samurai draw their sword. Real samurai draw their sword forward. So you need to have this thing pointing forward here, like here, forward. So in order to draw the position, to secure this in this manner, you'll see that the wakizashi is tucked behind this two rope, the cross section here I create, and the katana side here, you want to place it between these two rope. I create a cross here. This crossing effect actually helps the blade, the sword, to secure in this manner without pointing upward, so it's pointing forward. So you can, when you draw a sword, you're cutting the opponent forward right in front of you. So this crossing rope is actually where we practice Aikido. We're actually using a similar concept. If we have a rope or straps or belt strap, we create such crossing effects so that we can secure a katana, which is made from real steel and have weight on it. So this is how a samurai would wear a sword. And if you can see this blue cloth, actually, if you are really concerned about it, actually in the game, actually Jin Sakai put his katana underneath this blue cloth, secured by the blue cloth. However, there are two models I can know of. Sometimes they place the katana just only behind this rope. Sometimes they place behind this blue cloth. But for the figure, I think for the ease of it, putting outside is just good enough. Here, using the rope security is good enough. Actually, the rope itself is quite clever for Jin Sakai, because if you know the real history in Tsushima, there is no katana actually created in that era. So samurai is actually using bows and spears only. So using the rope to secure a katana is actually a very smart move. So here you see a blue cloth here. When these things come off the box, you'll find it just this end would fly away pointing upward. So in the game it's pointing downward. So what you want to do is tuck this blue cloth underneath this rope here to create this effect, so it won't fly upward pointing upward. So you can see here's a loop here. In the game is actually where the rope is tied here, the knot here. However, I have difficulty joining and tying two ropes end together, so I just simply create this looping effect, try to simulate the actual knot here, similar to the game. So when you adjust this rope for the purpose of securing sword position, you'll find this loop here and this rope, wrist rope here is actually two pieces. So be sure you need to tie it correctly back. And here I fear the same thing would happen. So in the game it's more tight. It's tied more tightly. It's create more looping. It's better, looks better. I want to adjust it, but I fear if I lose it, it will fall off together and it create a mess. So I try not to lose it off and adjust it. As a volunteer rope technician myself, if you are not familiar with rope itself, don't have confidence in rope, try not to lose it up, so it will create a mess for you to try to tie it back. So here, this green cloth here, actually if you see in the game, the end there after tying it, there are both ends. One end is here, one end is around here. So I don't have a proper equipment or small clamps to try to adjust it. It stays more obvious in the game, but I think it's good enough, and it's quite hard to tie it back, so I just let it stay still. And this throwing knife is actually pointing downward, more downward in the game, but this figure, because of this green knot here, is just preventing this throwing knife pointing downward. And beware of these two pieces, is so tiny and it's just secured with one pin, and it's easily can it be easily broken, so beware of that getting loose. So next things I want to share with you is the sword in the back. You can see it's actually not a katana, it's actually a ninjato. A ninjato is smaller than a katana but larger than a wakizashi. So here you can see I just secure it using the rope. In the game is actually the rope having knot tie on it, this 2 point, and you can see in the game that these two pouches will be placed around here in the back of the wrist, and the ninjato end of it would be pointing on the right side of this pouch, just above it here. And this way the sword would point correctly toward outside. And actually in the game we can see there's a marking, so we can see this cape, there's a line here, actually can align with this katana pointing upward. In the game is the same way. So when you place the cape, do not place the cape like to middle. Place the cape a little bit more left, so it creates an opening here, and it will stay perfect this way. So the next thing I would like to share is that you can see you can change hands with the figure. So when I change my hands, these piece of this hand armor come loose. So because this is a cloth and this is some plastic, if you use simple plastic tape, it won't stick. So I use something like this multi-purpose two-side sticker, which is quite thick. You just use a little tiny of it and it will stick. And when you change the hand, be sure to remove the joint first before removing the strap here of the finger and the palm. The reason for that is because the strap have elasticity. It is elastic, but if you keep changing a hand by forcefully pulling this strap out, it will soon lose the elastic property of it, and sooner or later it won't strap properly. So I would recommend to remove the joint first before removing the hand from the strap, the elastic strap here, this black one here. Yes. And actually, if you can see, these pieces of cloth can actually extend out a little bit, just enough for you to remove the joint here. Okay. Another thing I want you to know is that for the purpose of better photo shooting, you can see this piece of cloth here would easily pointing a little bit out, but in the game it always stays more inside, left side. So what you want to do is to make sure this piece of cloth here is actually this way, putting in this way, and you put your armor this way, so you can press on it so it will stay here. This way won't have, it will look better this way, and in the game it's look this way. And the final thing I want to share is that my first time after I have adjustment, I find Jin Sakai standing like weirdly. It doesn't stand like this way because I adjust it. Before I adjust it, it stand quite weird, and I figure it out only when I just trying to test the joint. I find it because this black trousers, so it's hide the joint at the knee position. So actually when you bend the knee, when I bend the knee is pointing a different direction with the toe. So it is basic human anatomy. You cannot point your knee different directions than the toe, so you need to point in the same direction. Otherwise, in real life, you will twist your leg. So be sure that you have the correct pointing direction of it. Fun fact is that it is impossible or very difficult for a person to perform rolling with a sword behind them. But in the game, it's look cool. It's fine. But in real life, it is impossible. So you don't find real ninja trying to roll with their sword behind their back. So here's for today's sharing. I hope everyone can enjoy this video and can adjust their toy model, their figure model in a way more authentic and same as the way in a game. So I hope everyone have a nice day. I'll see you next time.